This fellow Anthony, with the Chinoid name, has said, I added English subtitles to the video translated into Japanese by Icon GZ. A Chinese girl, possibly an exchange student, is horrified at how bad British food is. She only eats the terrible food once a day, but is gaining weight. Sounds immediately like this lady is going to tell us an insane lie. Food in England is really bad. I can only stand to eat it once a day. But it's really awful. But it's got really high calories. I only eat once a day, but I gain 2 kilograms. You can't stand to eat it. You will just eat thousands of calories of it every day. This is just a lie. The food in the UK is not magic. It's not magic. Where you eat, it's not like a slice of bread in the UK is 1,000 calories. If something has high calories, you'll know about it. It will be covered in grease, or be a large quantity or something. What is she even talking about? Yeah, people are talking about she's just posting this so her mom doesn't beat her when she comes home fat. Doesn't even make sense from the Chinese perspective. It doesn't make sense from any perspective. You don't. What is she buying that she's eating? Hypothetically, let's say this wasn't a meme. She's eating once a day. What is she eating to gain weight eating once a day? Motherfucker, we have bread. We have ham. We have cheese. If you want Chinese food, it's everywhere. This is nonsense. Because people are going, haha, very funny. The Sinoid can't handle a sausage roll. We have Chinese food here. We have low-calorie food here. We have every style of food you could ever want at every supermarket. We have vegetables, we have rice, we have oats, we have bread, we have flour. Just make something. Make a week's worth of meals. What are you doing? Easy. And what does that one meal a day look like? What is being eaten? Are you going to one of those... Is this chick going to American-style diners and getting a Monster Shake every day? Oh, I'm gaining 2 kilograms. All I do... Oh, I'm only eating 3 pints of ice cream a day for breakfast. Why am I gaining weight? What are you talking about? Which leads us to discussion of... Ignoring that in the UK you aren't forced to only eat food that originates from the UK, people have now discussed how good UK food is and what she could possibly be eating. This fellow has posted a type of diagram that I presume, based on what I'm looking at here, is sourced from YouGov.com, used the information there to create a tier list. This is science. This is not just one person's opinion. This is the opinion of everyone in the UK. That is to say, this is Pakistan's opinion on British food. What are the best classic British foods? Savory foods only. Question people were polled on is, in general, how much do you like or dislike each of the following foods? And the info we get is the percentage who've tried each of the following that say they like them. And that's how it's been arranged into tiers. So crap tier is less than 50% of people who try it like it. And I'm already irritated. Instantly. Right? TOS? It is not TOS when referring to a British offal meatball to say that they are called faggots. That is not a hateful term to use in that context. That is fine. You can literally go to the store and buy 6 of them for like £1.60. Dr. Brains. Disclaimer. I've never had lava bread. And I've never had jellied eels. Never had those two. I've had everything else, though. And I don't respect this. I am an American, okay? To be clear, I am an American. But I like a lot of British food. I like a lot of British food, and I like it a lot. Strange things are happening here. Is this the youth doing this? So the people answering this survey, less than 50%. Well, you know what? I guess we've got mild at the top, right? Mild at the top. But I don't understand how Sunday roast gets God tier. Fish and chips gets God tier. Cornish pasty gets mid? How do the people who like all these things not like Cornish pasty? I'll explain them, don't worry. I gotta tell you, to me, the Scotch egg looks orange. You have no idea what these things are. Right. We'll go through them and see whether I agree with their placement or not. Not that an individual placed them here. This is from a survey on whether people who've tried them like them or not. But how the f*** is Yorkshire pudding God tier but Toad in the Hole is mid? What is Toad in the Hole? We'll get to it. I would really like to try lava bread. I would like to try jellied eels. We will watch, I guess, jellied eel and lava bread videos
Chinese
to judge. I want to say lava bread is made with seaweed and maybe cooked underground. One of those things might be correct. We will rate them without tasting them. We will fraudulently judge them and watch videos. Okay, Yorkshire pudding. We'll start with. Jay Jameson says Yorkshire pudding is basically fried bread roll, isn't it? No. Yorkshire puddings are baked, as far as I'm aware. You make a batter and you bake it, and it makes a cup. As you can see there, it makes like a little cup. You can put gravy in that little cup. It's lovely. It's very good. The texture, it's like that rim, the rim of the pudding, hard and crisp normally, and then once you like stick your tongue past the rim, it's all soft and gooey, and yeah, like an ice cream, savory ice cream cone, but instead of putting ice cream in it, you put gravy in it. Yes, you can get them all different sizes. Some people like to get a gigantic one with a Sunday roast inside of it. In fact, in most supermarkets in the UK, if you dig around in the frozen food section, you will find a box that has a giant Yorkshire pudding with roast meat and vegetables and gravy inside of it, and you can just pop that in the oven. You can get them as wraps. I've had one as a wrap. That's less common though. Giant Yorkshires as a wrap, and giant Yorkshires as a wrap aren't as nice. They're quite airy on the inside. Does that Sunday roast include a Yorkshire pudding? Well, I'm going to say God tier, but you must have gravy. God tier, but you must have gravy. The gravy is implied. All right? Sunday roast, meat and 2 veg. Be nice to have a Yorkshire with it. Not necessarily. Can be chicken or beef. Chicken or beef normally is what I'd always have for a Sunday roast. You want roasties? This is normally an incel stream, but this time I'm going to say yes to roasties. You want the roasties to be hyper crisp on the outside, soft and fluffy on the inside. You want it to be like biting into a rock with mashed potato inside. That's the good stuff. God tier. Fish and chips. Thick, cut, chunky chips. Salt, vinegar. Huge, crisp lump of haddock or cod. Pick up that fish with your bare ass hand and shove it down your throat. Don't be a bitch, use your hands. Or, for the chips at least, use a little wooden pitchfork. The little wooden spike. The 2-pronged spike they give you sometimes, right? Fish and chips used to taste a lot better when they used actual newspaper and you got a bit of the ink soaking into the fish, but it's still amazing. God tier. Crumpets. The texture is a little bit like a sponge, as in an actual sponge. Bubbled up dough full of holes. A close-up, like macro shot of it probably looks like something you shouldn't eat. The texture, the only ways I could describe it, make it sound disgusting. Crumpet texture is a bit like rubber fur, but in a really good way. And you toast it, and then you smear butter on top, and the butter melts and gets into all of its orifices. Crumpets are not similar to English muffins. No, they are not. I have to disagree. English muffins are way breadier. Guess what? God tier. Full English breakfast. There are variations on this, but it's literally it's just a plate full of good ingredients, none of which clash. Egg, beans, bacon, sausage, tomato, mushrooms, fried bread. Did I say beans? Black pudding. So good. Might even have a cup of beans. Sometimes they serve you a cup of beans. It happened to me. So good. Not sweet enough for America. True. No syrup. You do get cafes that will do a version that has pancakes and maple syrup, though. Hash brown? Yeah, hash brown is fair. It's just a plate full of good shit. So, full English, how can it not be God tier? 5 distinct God tier items. Already. Bacon sandwich. Now, okay. In theory, it should work perfectly. And it always works alright. Bacon can be pretty salty. The bread can help deal with that. You want to put sauce on it, like brown sauce or tomato ketchup. Whenever I have a bacon sandwich, the ratio is every time, every single time, every last time. It's either too salty, too bready, or all you can taste is sauce. And God help you. God help you if that shit's buttered. I don't respect that. There are people who butter the bread for a bacon butty. I don't roll with that. That's just disgusting. Based on my actual experience, when I make one from scratch, I will cook up like a whole pack of bacon, not have it crispy. Just have the fat render and get a bit crispy, but the meat a bit soft. You stack them all up. Just bacon and bread. But that's not the reality of a bacon sandwich. They average out. My experience of bacon sandwiches averages out to mid. Do you butter jam on toast? Depends on my mood. Bangers and mash. Something's wrong. The picture shows no gravy. Again, this is weird, just like with the Yorkshire pudding. Bangers and mash is a gravy dish. It is not a sausage or a mash dish. Bangers and mash lives or dies on the back of the gravy, and that gravy has to be absolutely loaded with onions. Yes, Ragemonger, exactly. Every time I've had bangers and mash, it's always had amazing gravy with it. I don't think I've ever had a bad one. The reality of bangers and mash is gravy dish, and the gravy is always godlike. How could it not be good? What are bangers? Sausages. Just sausages. Now, we have cottage pie and we have shepherd's pie. These are very nearly the same dish. Cottage pie is made with beef. Shepherd's pie is made with sheep. It's just a different meat. That's it. So it's meat and veg, mash layered on top, and then you can have cheese or you cannot have cheese. You can do it. You can do it either way. I gotta tell you, shepherd's pie is mid. The lamb edition is mid. Cottage pie is low. That shit always has gristly bits in it. Every single time. I don't know why. Shepherd's pie doesn't. Cottage pie always has like hard bits of gristle or even little pieces of bone. Every time I've had it. Every single time. Every last time. Yeah, it's always weird mince. It's always weird. Not normal. Toad in the hole. Simple. Toad in the hole is a giant Yorkshire pudding with multiple sausages in it. You eat that with veg and gravy. Obviously, Toad in the hole goes God tier. It's Yorkshire pudding with sausage. Implied gravy. Don't need to talk about it. Cauliflower cheese. I don't know what the hell these people are talking about. That is not a British dish. I don't believe it. Wait, even Wikipedia says it's a traditional English dish. Origin United Kingdom. I literally don't believe it. I feel like... Are we going on the... I've already set the standard that we're not going on the dish theoretically. Or the concept of the dish. We're running on the basis of the dish I've actually had. Cauliflower cheese can be brought up into God tier, but here's the thing, any dish can, really. If you tweak it enough, if you use the right ingredients, if you cook it right. At that point, there's no point ever doing a tier list. So based on the reality of the cauliflower cheeses I have eaten in my life, I've had a top tier cauliflower cheese. Overwhelmingly, though, Straight trash. Garbage. These psychopaths will make a vat. They'll make a roux. They'll make a white sauce. They'll add a pinch of cheese to it. They will smother cauliflower in this flavorless goo and then put cheese on top of that. Guess what? It's obliterated, sogified cauliflower covered in wallpaper paste with a little bit of cheese flavor. Overwhelmingly disgusting. Conceptually, it should be good, but no one ever makes it good. Cornish pasty. I have never had a Cornish pasty that wasn't really tasty. The mass-produced trash Ginsters put it in the microwave Cornish pasties. A microwaved Ginsters pasty is top tier. A homemade one is above God tier. I believe I shared a picture of the one I had in the Peak District. A homemade one. God tier. Simple as. Pie and mash. I don't think they go together. I always find it so... And it's not even just that it's like a carby shell of the pie. The pie crust is carbs and mash is carbs. Because I like pie and chips. Even to have the same amount of potato with pie. A different form is better, in my opinion. I want gravy on my mash, or some butter and pepper. When you get pie and mash, and you put gravy on the mash, it feels like cope. It is cope for a lack of filling in the pie. When you have chips or something, you take the lid off the pie, you can dip into the pie filling, but you don't want to take the pie filling out and put it on the mash. And then when you put gravy on the mash, it feels like you're coping. You're coping for a lack of something from the pie. But it's by no means horrible. It's a pie and it's mash. I'll go mid. Chicken tikka masala. That picture is not chicken tikka masala. I don't know what they're talking about. Am I crazy? Chicken tikka masala is red. I don't know what's going on here. It's like a korma. Probably should have included a korma if it's not included here. That's a very British dish. I like Indian food. This isn't Indian food. I like it dank, but that doesn't mean it's horrible. But it's Scottish. Okay. I like real dankoid Indian food. Okay? I like to taste the designated streets. I will never say no to a curry, though. It's just not God tier. I'd eat one right now, but it's not quite. I do believe Vindaloo is British. I think Falls are a British meme as well. Is the curry you get as a kid. Exactly. I like a danzak. I like, there's a fish curry I like that's normally served with a polenta cake. Plowman's lunch. Fucking joke. What a joke. Plowman's lunch is a scam sold to you by restaurants. Too lazy to make a sandwich. Get out of here. Garbage. Straight garbage. If someone serves you a plowman's lunch, it's you make your own sandwich. Don't respect it. Cannot take that seriously. Nothing on the plate is horrible. You got your pickle, your cheese, your ham. You got bread. Looks like you can get like a slice of pie. But this is... Oh, come on. Brother, if they serve you this, you've been scammed. Oh, here you go. It's a traditional plowman's lunch. It's all the shit they were going to throw away after service. No individual piece is bad, but it doesn't come together at all, in my opinion. It's not a cohesive dish. It doesn't count. Welsh rarebit. Fancy cheese on toast? Yeah. So it's just a cheese sauce on toast. Normally, I'd say you want to put Worcestershire sauce on top of it, but I'm not sure if you do. Rarebit. Rarebit is a corruption. It was originally called Welsh rabbit. But yeah, it's cheese on toast, but it's a cheese sauce on toast instead of it just being straight up cheese. I would normally have Worcestershire sauce on top. I think Welsh rarebit has to go mid. And I think straight up cheese on toast, literally just putting some mature cheddar on toast, putting it under the grill and putting some, like, Leon Perrin's Worcestershire sauce on is better than Welsh rarebit. It's an extreme loss. I haven't had bubble and squeak for a long time. I believe it is blobs of mash mixed with vegetables, like, cabbage, right? Yeah, it's potatoes. It is potato. It's just mashed potato and cabbage, but lightly mashed. Although you can also use leftover mashed potato and mix it with cabbage. Yeah, like Doopy D says, I've only ever had it with mashed potato that's left over. I don't think I've ever had bubble and squeak made from scratch. That's why when I looked it up to check and I saw these chunky potato pieces, I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. This isn't disrespectful, but I think it goes mid. Quite happy to have it. It's quite a nice thing to make with leftovers, I think. Haven't had it many times, and every time I've had it, it's been very enjoyable. Consider it as like a breakfast extra. As a breakfast extra, it's nice, and I think that relegates it to mid-tier. Because I'd never be excited to have something on the basis that is bubble and squeak, but I'd be happy to have bubble and squeak added to pretty much anything. Like if there was a full English breakfast option, and one of the variations had bubble and squeak, sure, that's a nice addition. Beef Wellington. Beef Wellington done right. Do I need to explain? Big old chunk of beef, cooked rare ideally. A rich mushroom sauce around it. Crispy pastry that gets a little bit soggy. I don't need to talk about a Beef Wellington, do I? Do I need to explain why that's amazing? Scotch egg. A bad Scotch egg is top tier. Any Scotch egg that is better than bad is god tier. It goes god tier. A Scotch egg is a boiled egg, can be soft or hard boiled, cooked however you want, wrapped in sausage meat, rolled in breadcrumbs. Ideally, deep fried and eaten warm. Now, most of the Scotch eggs I have are cold, like supermarket Scotch eggs. But even some of those, there's a Jolly Hog Scotch egg with a soft boiled egg in the middle. Bit expensive for what it is. Incredibly delicious. Incredibly delicious. One of the tastiest variations I've had is a Scotch egg where the sausage meat had some black pudding blended in. Very good. Lancashire hot pot. So what this is, think of it like a beef stew with a bunch of slices of potato on top. Is that unreasonable? I don't think I'm being unreasonable. Oh, it's lamb or mutton for Lancashire. Never mind, I didn't know. Has to be lamb or mutton. That's still fine. Is the beef hot pot just called beef hot pot? I don't think I've ever had a Lancashire hot pot then. I've had ones called Lancashire hot pot that are definitely beef. I don't think I've ever had a lamb one. Regardless, I think even though it's practically shepherd's pie but with slices of potato on top, it shows you how much mashed potato can weigh a dish down. Hot pots, top tier. I think that form of the potato fixes the ratio issue that shepherd's pie and cottage pie tend to have. It also often feels like, in shepherd's and cottage pie, it feels like the mashed potato eats the juices and makes them disappear. The problem with shepherd's pie and cottage pie is you end up getting like clumps of just plain mash, huge stretches of eating just plain mash. You don't get that problem with a hot pot. Pork pie. That's what I'm thinking now, but not quite god tier. I'm actually starting to think, have I had a god tier pork pie? Like a cold pork pie? I don't think I've ever had a god tier one. I've had some definite top tier ones, especially with pickle. I'm creeping down. For how much pork there is, it tastes so little like meat. Yeah, VProc, they are super variable. You ever gotten a pork pie that's like 50% jelly on the inside? Yeah, I can't justify even putting it in top. I like them. I get them now and then. Tim's lack of love of pies and disregard for anything spicy? What are you talking about? There's nothing spicy on this page whatsoever. What are you talking about? I haven't decided not to include anything spicy. The hell are you talking about? Chicken tikka masala is not spicy. What are you talking about? Steak and kidney pie. Steak and kidney pie was what I looked at and helped convince me pork pie has to be mid-tier. Because steak and kidney pie, I can't put in God tier. It's not God tier. But I definitely put it distinctly above a pork pie. It goes top tier. I feel like a lot of Americans would be filtered by steak and kidney pie. I feel like a lot of Americans would throw up if they got a steak and kidney pie and didn't know it was a kidney. It didn't know it had kidneys in it. But I'm a faggot lover. I like offal. I like it a lot. Steak and kidney pie is one of my favorite pies because of the kidney, because of that, like, irony, offally taste. Adds a lot more interest to the flavor for me. It's kidney meat. It's chunks of steak and chunks of kidney. Yeah. Steak and kidney pudding. This might blow your mind. Don't like it. I like the filling. The weird, like, squishy outside. Glorpy outside like a steamed savory pudding. Duh! I like crisp pastry. It's okay if the pastry gets a little bit soggy from the fillings. The outside of the pudding is like doesn't disgust me, but it's like, man, I wish that any time I've ever had a savory pudding like that, I would wish I was having a pie instead. I'll eat it, but I'm not happy about it. The outside. Black pudding. Americans might be shocked, but it is not black because of its socioeconomic circumstances. Black pudding is black for a different reason. You guys know why, right? Blood indeed. It is a log of blood and fat and spices. The only time black pudding isn't good is when someone gives you like a refrigerator cold slab of it. Otherwise, and oats, yes, okay, yeah. I couldn't remember what the filler was. Black pudding is pretty god tier. Yeah. The only negative to black pudding isn't something I can hold against it. Normally, whenever you get something like a breakfast with black pudding, they give you like a tiny thin slice. They give you just a little bit. When I first moved in with Lucky Bee, we went and we did an eating challenge that involved a huge amount of black pudding. That was pretty cool. But yeah, black pudding, very good. Kippers. My understanding is there's some special technique to the smoking. But what it is it's a smoked herring. If you like smoked... What's the other povo fish? Smoked mackerel. If you like smoked mackerel, you'll love smoked kippers. Sorry, kippers are inherently smoked. You love smoked herring. Yeah. Oily, delicious. I love smoked fish so much. And I think something that makes me love it more is I avoid it because when I eat it, Lucky Bee knows and is like disgusted by it. So I avoid it for her benefit. And absence makes the heart grow fonder, and so on and so forth. So yeah. Smoked fish, godlike. Liver and onion. I think typically in the UK you get this with bacon. Liver, bacon, and onions. Gonna be real, one of my absolute favorite dishes ever. Even the microwave meal version of it you can get. I love. Liver hits a... You ever make one of those star charts of like the different levels of each kind of flavor, sweet, sour, salty? Liver just hits the spot for me in a way that pretty much nothing else does. I absolutely adore it, whether it's with chips or with mash. I prefer it with chips. I prefer liver with a bunch of onions and a gravy and bacon with chips, like at a cafe. So good. God tier. Haggis. I don't think haggis reaches God tier. Yeah, I'm gonna put it... It gets in top. It gets in top for sure. I wish haggis tasted as awfully as it should. To me, haggis is mostly a texture, a paste texture, and the spices. Or with crispness, if it's fried. Haggis can be an element of a god tier dish. A burger with a slice of haggis that's been deep fried, that's god tier. Haggis itself, still top. I can't put haggis alone. into God tier. And it's not like what it requires to be God tier is just gravy, because we can allow for gravy and things like that. I can't allow for like haggis spring roll to count for haggis. I can't count haggis in a burger as haggis. No. All right. Faggots. Are they? It's another one. It's another one. This is almost the opposite of the haggis problem, where they're almost always in a gravy that has no taste. They're in a low flavor gravy. The only flavor you get from them is that sort of awfully flavor, but it's not as full and as rich as when you eat something like plain old liver. That said, I love it. Faggots on toast is not a typical thing. Normally you'd have it with peas and mash. I like it when I have it. I'll get cheapo Dr. Brains, put it on toast. It's like having hot pate with gravy. Top tier, but it's held back by a lack of complexity in typical. I've had one or two from butchers that are better, but even then I don't know if they reach into God tier. Now we've hit a problem. We've hit an issue. I've never had lava bread. Apparently, it is a seaweed bread.
So here we have a great patch of our Welsh national delicacy.
Just gonna go out, grab some slime and make bread.
Porphyra umbilicalis, which is better known as lava. And this is used to make the Welsh delicacy lava bread. Now, lava bread is a bit like a cow pat, except it tastes...
Okay, already starting with the appetizing comparisons. Very good. Lava bread is a bit like cow shit. Okay. Hey, look at this slime. We're gonna use it to make it. We're gonna use it to make lava bread, which, by the way, is a bit like a cow shit. All right, let's see it.
Traditionally, lava bread is cooked in the bacon fat, so a nice, really fatty bacon. You can get a lot of this great grease out of.
Oh, it stays as a slime. It doesn't become hard or anything.
Now, no one ever said this was going to be the most healthy food, but you can...
So it's a fatty seaweed spread. Slow cooking it, alright.
This is not eaten everywhere in the world.
That's just boiled seaweed, my G.
Eaten.
I thought lava bread was bread made with lava. Is lava bread the dish?
Well, it certainly smells of the foreshore.
Seaweed I've had, I like. I like seaweed gin. I'm convinced, though, it's meant to be slop. Nah, there's no way that's legit. Lava bread. Yeah, and look, the icon here is just a stack of breads. What's going on? My prediction is I'd think it's low tier. Jellied eels. Never had them, want to try them. Let's get a hypothetical score. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. I call him Gormless George.
This one, there's a lot of gelatin. Huh? I don't mind the jelly.
Get the saltiness in the jelly.
Yeah, I like the saltiness of the jelly.
So do you eat just... So there are like 4 pieces of fish in that. Do you then scoop out the rest of the jelly and it's just salt jelly?
The fish.
Yeah.
I think they go very well together. Yeah.
I think salt goes well with fish. Thanks, insider food commentator. Really glad we have you there to transport us into this experience.
The eel itself is like just...
And you can imagine this, you know...
Thank you again for the incredible commentary. The eel itself is just fish. Thank you.
If you're out enjoying yourself and not in a factory environment, these are quite nice.
Yeah, it's
if
a
you're
nice
having a drink
snack
as well, it's a nice snack.
Yeah, if you're fucking wasted, this is delicious. Right, he cemented it. Until I've tried it, it lives in crap tier. Until I've tried it, I don't believe it's good. The second someone's like, hey, it's great if you get fucking smashed and can't taste anything. I have a new favorite food reviewer. Spaniards, prepare yourself. This guy does food travel videos. He went to Tenerife and has a 20-minute video on British fry-ups. And his comment section is losing it. It's so good. He gets like 15 to 30k views every episode, every upload, but he only has 11.5k subs. He's a god of the algorithm, by the way. And I think he actually gets bothered by the people saying, why aren't you eating Spanish food? This comment's amazing too! You have obviously had some major setbacks that have affected you, and it shows in your content. But all credit to you for picking yourself up and plowing on. Keep going, fella, from the heart. You're really f***ed up, it shows in your content. It's so good! Speaking of Yorkshire puddings, one of his videos in Spain is him eating a roast dinner out of a giant Yorkshire pudding. This is the thing I was telling you about that you can get in the freezer section of supermarkets. Hey everyone, welcome to my new Spanish travel series. Here's a Yorkshire pudding with with beef stew in it. Why is it all peas? Because he ordered a side of peas and then dumped them all onto it, dude. He's a sicko. Look at this! We need to find... We know 2 of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Gary Eats is sauce. Gary Eats is the sauce horseman of the apocalypse. DJ is the peas horseman of the apocalypse. Oh my god, you must be joking. The pub food here is unbelievable. Here we go. Sam Gillespie says, so far from the Tenerife series, there's been a banana and ice cream, afternoon tea, a small overdone steak, and a frozen Yorkshire pudding. You might as well have rented a caravan in Great Yarmouth for the week and ate in the nearest pub chain every night. DJ says, I love Tenerife, and I eat what I like when I'm there. It's the whole experience. He got him, he wins. He wins. With that comment, he wins. Lucas says, I have a place in Tenerife and my family live there, each to their own, but I would never eat at these types of places. There are so many good restaurants out there for cheap that are authentic or not British. I explained in the video! Giga Chad. That's so good. There was another response of his I saw where someone was really interested in what he was doing and he was like, oh, and where are you going next? Someone was asking about like where he has plans to go next. And he just responded to their content where they really cared. He just responded, explained in a previous video. Okay, Richard Williamson says, I absolutely love your channel usually, Darren, but no matter how good it is, why on God's earth would you go to Tenerife to eat beef stew, gravy, and mash? Because I like to eat good food, respective of where I am. Do you want to see dessert heaven in Tenerife? Ooh.
And welcome to the Tenerife season.
He's so cool. I need to go to a restaurant. I need to go to a city and record one of these in a restaurant. I've been laughing at Gary Eats. I've been laughing at this guy. I've done similar in the past. I need to try and do one. Or I'm being a bitch. If I'm going to laugh at them and not do one myself, I'm being a bitch. I need to go somewhere and do it. I'm sure it will.
We're here at Hawaii. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Hello! I'm here at Hawaii Steakhouse, Spain.
Not quite. Just 1 minute, please.
I know it's not Hawaii. Hawaii is with 2 eyes, but hello. I've flown to Tenerife to make my new travel series. We're at Hawaii Steakhouse, and I'm gonna have the children's banana split. This is so good. I wish he was trolling, because he's making people in the comments so mad, and it's so funny. But I don't think this is a wind up at all. Chocolate pancakes with ice cream. Damn, Spain is crazy. Wild. Bro, come on. In the UK, crepes are called pancakes. I want him to be a troll. What am I on about? On Pancake Day, if you go to a restaurant and order pancakes, you get a crepe. You get a thin, flat pancake, like a crepe. You don't get American ones. We also call real American pancakes pancakes, but in the UK, overwhelmingly, yeah, the Shrove Tuesday pancakes are crepes. They're not actually pancakes. And if you order a pancake at a restaurant that isn't American influenced, you're getting a crepe, dude. Flapjacks in the UK are bricks of oat and butter. Why are you showing me this so much? Just a half an hour of action shots on this children's dessert. Lucky Bee, when I was going to get, what was it, my citizenship license? Not citizenship, my residency card, whatever. Lucky Bee got a Japongi pancake. It wasn't bad, but it squishes so fast in your mouth you might as well have a normal pancake. An American pancake. The tall, airy ones squish so fast in your mouth they might as well have never been puffed to begin with. It's a banana with whipped cream and chocolate sauce, bro! We also have something to drive Brits insane. We have something that should make you lose your mind as a Brit. I need to get to the point where he talks about his order.
The second one down,
Right.
an extra sausage.
He ordered the Burrow Special. Cumberland sausage, fried egg, bacon, bubble and squeak, baked beans, mushrooms and grilled/tinned tomatoes, £13.80. Fellow Brits, this breakfast did not end up costing £13.80. You're going to lose your mind. If you've eaten breakfast out recently, you are going to lose your mind. Did you hear him?
Extra
Wait.
egg. The second one down with an extra sausage, extra egg.
Extra sausage, extra egg. Insane. Everyone in chat is probably thinking, everyone in chat who is not eating in the UK, is not from the UK, has not eaten breakfast out at a cafe in the UK. When that shit costs like £14 and you're adding extras, you've made a terrible mistake. There it is. I think he calls that a crust on the bubble and squeak. I call that burnt, personally. Looks nice and everything. Why is it a terrible mistake, Savior? How much do you think this cost? Base price, £13.80. Every time Lucky Bee and I have had breakfast out over the last year, I'll look at what you get and they'll be like, ooh, this would be perfect with like another something or other. And it's like, oh, you can get extra sausage for like £3.50. Nope, I'm out. Peace. I'll have it as it is. So this guy being like, this guy eating at a cafe in London with a breakfast that's 14 quid saying he added extras, there's like a scary sign.
I ordered the Burrow Special, which was £13.80. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, is that one sausage or two? And they said one. I said, I'll have another.
This guy's didn't cost £3.50. I exaggerated slightly, Saviour, okay? I exaggerated slightly.
Sausage then. I said, is it one egg or two? He said, one. Okay, I'll have another egg then. And I said, and just no tomatoes for me. He said, would you like toast instead? I said, no, I'll have fried bread though. They said, no, we can't do that. Okay. I said, well, I'll have fried bread.
So they wouldn't replace the tomato with fried bread, so he ordered extra fried bread.
Which was £2.
What does that mean? I had a feeling the non-Brits might get confused by what he's talking about. He said, no tomatoes. And they said, oh, would you like toast instead? He said, no, but I'd have fried bread if I could have fried bread instead of the tomatoes. And they said, no, you cannot have fried bread as a substitute for tomatoes. But he wanted fried bread, so instead of as a substitute for the tomatoes that he didn't pay extra for, he was willing to pay extra for the fried bread.
The egg was £2 and the sausage was £2.
£2 for an egg, dude. We live in hell.
And I asked for one bread and butter. They bought me two and charged me for the bread and butter, even though they said you can have...
Wait! They said he could have toast, not fried bread, so he bought extra fried bread. And then he went for bread and butter, but because they didn't say you could have bread and butter instead of the tomatoes, they charged him for the bread and butter, but for two different bread and butters?
Toast instead of tomatoes. So that's left a bit of a bad taste in my mouth, to be honest. £22.88 and it was...
Straight up robbed. I told you, dog. I told you about getting extras with your breakfast. The wild thing, though, maybe the craziest thing is, the title of this is Well-Known London Breakfast Left a Bad Taste in My Mouth. Relatively mild title. In the sidebar, there's another breakfast video from him that says, this breakfast/lunch left me totally speechless, and the thumb says total ripoff.
We donated £2. £2 for an egg, dude.
£2 for an egg, dude. Let's go. I love eggs. I have to see this
Well,
ripoff.
there's a backdrop for you. So I'm at the British Museum.
Okay.
We're not going in today because it's the food channel.
I was gonna say, if he was eating at the British Museum and called it a ripoff, like, no shit, yeah. What we got? Okay, how much do you think this one cost? That's...
Yeah, so I didn't ask for bacon. It's beans that's missing, and bread and butter. He's given me butter, no bread.
Dog, you have this shit on video, just leave. You got it all taped. They ripped you off. They served him his beans. Did they give him literally one slice of bread? I can't tell. If they literally gave him one slice of bread, that's a f*** you moment.
I've just asked if I can have my eggs
Don't say my bread toasted.
turned. Sunny side up is okay.
They get the cheapest sliced bread they can from the supermarket and then cut every slice in half. Okay, it's slowly becoming a real meal.
Be my favourite.
Okay, this is called a chip butty. I wouldn't do it with that bread. I think you want a bap for a chip butty, in my opinion. But whatever. Although I guess that would be a chip bap. What? Okay, in Britain, people butter bread and put chips in a sandwich. Ah! What the f*** are those eggs? Oh my god. He complained about how the eggs were done, so they put them in the garbage incinerator before handing them back to him. Holy moly, and it's not just the glasses making it look bad. DJ, they hate you. I wouldn't eat that. I'd be scared I'm poisoned. The yolks are crispy. And the sheer amount of beans, they were like, here, you want beans? Have every bean in the world. It's like, in my head, the chef and waiter are behind the camera, like dancing to the music. Latinxly. All right, let's hear the afterthoughts. I bet he paid £16 for this. Norbert says 17. Fizzy says 28. Ignorant says 16. Frag says 18.
I don't know what to say about it because you saw what I got. You got the order wrong.
Yum.
If there's a language barrier, I don't know, but you got the order wrong. You didn't write anything down. Because I said, will you remember this? Yes.
I think he deliberately got it wrong because you asked, DJ. I think that's where the trouble started. You questioned him.
Okay. And he didn't. That's why I mentioned it before the meal arrived, because I kind of felt that
Telltale games need to come back, and there has to be a scene in a diner where the main character, when you order food, after you say your order to the waiter, it says, waiter will remember that. Or waiter won't remember that. That's a gag they need to do.
she's not going to go well. Pot of tea? Yeah, nice.
Yeah, but it's f***ing just they put some leaves they have in water, dude. You can't give them any credit for that.
I mean, that was basic comfort food gone wrong, in my opinion.
Don't soften it! Yo, this was a literal plate full of AIDS-infected gristle. In my opinion, I guess. Maybe you would have enjoyed it.
Here's the kicker. That was £23, £6.
Ah! What the f***?
Now, some of you have spat your tea out, some of you have fallen off your chair.
Just about.
Because I nearly did. £23.06. Now,
The other one was because of... Oh my god. The other one looked at least like it tasted good.
now, if it was good produce done badly, I would have asked for a discount.
Wait. What's he going to say now? If it was good produce done badly, he would have asked for a discount.
But the produce wasn't there in the first place.
Yeah, so?
So that's what they serve. Yeah, you forgot half the plate of food. Look, it is what it is. It's £23.06 for that. What was that? What was that? Half a breakfast? I don't know. I don't know what you really call it. I don't know. I'm gutted.
It's called getting ripped off.
The guy really tried. He really did try. You know, he got it wrong. Asked for the eggs to be turned.
No, he didn't. What is this place called? It's called Munchkins. On Yelp, they've got 2.1 stars. 1 out of 5. Terrible. Avoid. Overpriced, very basic cooked breakfast. Cheap and nasty sauces in Heinz packaging. They've been accused of faking having Heinz. Very grim food, shameless tourist trap. Okay. Good and cheap for London. Burger is good price and people here are friendly. In London is expensive, but here is cheap. We recommend. I don't believe this is real. Why is there just a bunch of pictures of fish? Hey, positive review. Person has made 1 review.